You don't get overlooked at work because of politics. You get overlooked because people don't feel safe relying on you. That sounds harsh, but it explains more than you think. Look around your workplace. There are people who seem to move ahead quietly. They get included. They get opportunities. Their mistakes don't stick. From the outside, it looks like connections or favoritism. But here's what most people miss. They are not just liked, they are trusted. And those are not the same thing. Think about your own approach. You try to be helpful, friendly, visible. You speak up in meetings. You take on tasks. You try to stay involved. It feels like you're doing the right things. But something doesn't change. You're still not the person they rely on. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Being liked makes you pleasant. Being trusted makes you valuable. And most people focus on the first. Let's break this down. Imagine your manager has a critical project, tight deadline, high pressure. They need someone they don't have to think about. Someone predictable. Do they choose the most talkative person? The most visible one? Or the one who quietly delivers every time? That decision reveals everything. This is the hidden problem. You think progress comes from being seen. But it comes from reducing uncertainty. Leaders don't reward noise. They reward clarity. And clarity comes from three signals. Predictability. They know how you act under pressure. Reliability. You do what you say, every time. Loyalty. You protect the work and the people involved, even when no one is watching. If one of these is missing, trust never fully forms. And without trust, you don't get real opportunities. You might get tasks, but not responsibility. This is where many people get stuck. They try to increase visibility. More meetings, more updates, more talking. But visibility without consistency creates doubt, not confidence. Here's the deeper reason. You're trying to be noticed, instead of being depended on. And those are very different goals. When you try to be noticed, you focus on how you appear. When you aim to be depended on, you focus on how others experience you. That shift changes everything. Here's the principle. Trust is built when people don't have to worry about you. Read that again. If they have to check your work, follow up repeatedly, or clarify instructions, trust is not there yet. But when things just get handled, without friction, without reminders, you become essential. Because you reduce mental load. And in high-pressure environments, that matters more than talent. So how do you actually build this? Without playing games. Without getting pulled into office noise. You need structure. 3 pillars. First, solve problems before they're assigned. Most people wait for direction. They complete what is given. Nothing more. But trusted people look ahead. They notice what might break, what is missing, what is delayed, and they act early. This doesn't mean doing everything. It means seeing beyond your task. For example, you notice a report has inconsistent data. No one mentioned it yet. You fix it, or flag it early with a solution. Now you're not just executing, you're thinking. That signals awareness. And awareness builds trust. Second, protect the environment around your work. Every workplace has background noise, complaints, speculation, side conversations. Most people engage casually. They comment, they agree, they pass things along. They think it's harmless. It isn't, because trust depends on stability. When you stay neutral, when you don't add to noise, people notice. You don't need to defend anyone. You don't need to argue. You simply don't participate. I haven't noticed that. That's enough. That response does 2 things. It keeps you out of unnecessary tension, and it signals consistency. Over time, that becomes reputation. Third, deliver bad news early. This is where most trust is lost, not because of mistakes, but because of timing. When a problem appears, the instinct is to fix it quietly. You wait. You hope it resolves. But if it grows and someone else notices first, trust breaks. Because now it looks like you were hiding it, even if you weren't. Trusted people do the opposite. They surface issues early, not with panic, with clarity. I want to flag a risk here. Here's what I'm seeing. Here's what I'm doing. That message builds confidence, because it shows control, not failure, and it removes surprise. In professional environments, surprise is what damages trust, not imperfection. Let's make this practical. When you notice a potential issue, I spotted something that might slow us down. I'm working on it, but wanted to flag it. When conversations drift into negative territory, I haven't seen that myself. When you complete something, here's the result. The team contributed a lot to this part. When setting expectations, I can deliver this by Friday. If earlier is needed, we should adjust scope. Notice the pattern. Clear, calm, measured. No over-explaining, no emotional pressure. That's how trust sounds. Now here's what will start to change. People will check in with you less, because they don't need to. They will involve you earlier, because they rely on your judgment, and your name will come up in rooms you're not in. Not because you pushed for it, but because you removed friction. That's how progress actually happens. Not through attention, through stability. Let's reinforce this. If you try to be liked, you become replaceable. If you become reliable, you become necessary. One depends on opinion. The other depends on experience. And experience always wins over time. So here's something simple to try. This week, find one small problem no one assigned to you. Fix it. Quietly. Then inform only the person who needs to know. No announcement. No performance. Just clarity. And observe what happens next. Because this is how trust starts. Small. Invisible. But consistent. Key takeaway. You don't need to play office politics. You need to become someone others feel safe relying on. That's what opens doors. If this changed how you see progress at work, there's a deeper structure behind it. Most people focus on visibility. Few understand how trust actually compounds. This is just one layer. If you want to go deeper, the full framework is in the book, because the way you work matters, but how others experience working with you matters more.